Keep It 100, Oklahoma High School Sports on this Wednesday afternoon. We got a little special guest in the house tonight. We got Zoe Johnson, and we'll be having Jada Davis join us in a few minutes right out of Wichita as we get ready for the Young Ladies Championship, the what is it called?
MAYB Nationals.
MAYB Nationals. That's why I got her here to help me. But before we get started, man, I got my man Big RT right here next to me, and we'll have Big E joining us after we do this Young Ladies little get together real quick and kind of talk about what they've been doing the last few weeks, going around playing a little basketball. Just finished up in Iowa. Like I said, we're going to talk a little girls basketball, then we'll jump into 6A football, either jump into OU football and any college sports that football we got on hand. Last week we got a chance to have the quarterbacks on. I thought that was pretty cool. Having all, four young men. I know we didn't have Irvin and Still on, but we had the other gentlemen on, and I think they all did a great job. Folks, if you can see our work, man, we've been going out there and doing a little extra, putting a little time in, my man behind the scenes has been putting some videos together, man. We kind of put one together for week 0 with Choctaw and Del City kicking off week 0. But I'll tell you, there's going to be some good games on week 0, man. Just found out that, Carl Albert and Coeita will be jumping off. Our man Mason Ford will be going up against that Carl Albert defense that, beat them last year in the playoffs. And I know he wants to try to have a little bit of revenge. Yeah. But that's a little peek under the tent. But, like I said, we're going to come back. We're going to bring Jada on the show, and we're going to talk a little girls basketball for a few minutes. Then we're going to jump into that 6A small football. I know all you people want to hear about them Deer Creek and them Choctaw Yellow Jackets, the gold standard. Right back after one of our what?
Sponsors.
Yes, what I'm talking about. Zoe J.
Z. With 25 years experience in the industry, Line-X Customs OKC is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray and liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Wednesday afternoon. Joining me is Zoe Johnson, Mr. R.T. Sherman, and straight out of Wichita, having a little practice before she makes her turn down the Oklahoma Turnpike to come see us. But we can get ready for the what tournament, Zoe?
MAYB Nationals.
How you doing, Miss Jada Davis? How you doing?
Good.
So what you got going on right about now?
We're getting ready to scrimmage.
Who are you going to scrimmage?
It's this team in 7th grade. It's a lot of people.
Okay. So
Jada,
7th
grade? What's the age group?
We're 6th grade. We're 5th grade going into 6th.
And y'all playing, they scrimmage in 7th grade?
Hey, that's what we do.
That's how you get ready.
That's how you get ready. Well, Jada, we want to talk to you for a few minutes. Got you and Zoe on the show. And we're going to talk a little bit of girls basketball. But before we get started, Jada, tell the listeners in Oklahoma that don't know Jada Davis about who is Jada Davis in her game in Wichita.
316.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jada.
Hey, my name is Jada Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
I can play all spots on the basketball court.
All of them, okay.
And my team, if we work hard, we're successful.
That's it. So, Jada, I know you've been going around, man, the last few months, man. You guys have played in some big tournaments, man, and from Dallas to Wichita to Iowa, Nebraska. What's it like? Doing a lot of traveling, but playing against good competition. I know we went down to Ohio and fell short in the AAU Nationals. We got beat by a team that we had beat a few weeks earlier. So what's y'all's goal? Because, there's a good chance we can see that team this weekend. So what's the girls striving for?
Well, that team, they caught us off. They caught us on a bad day, and since we lost, we're going to come back ready to play.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, you and Zoe both, you guys kind of, become good friends, playing together, So what's it like having an Oklahoma player on your team that's traveling to Wichita to practice, or you guys are coming to Oklahoma to practice, and you guys have come, not just teammates, but become good friends. So what's that been like?
It's actually kind of cool because not all teams have different players on the team traveling back and forth.
That's good stuff. Well, Zoe, you got Jada on the phone. So what's it been like? I know you played against Jada a few years back in the championship when we was down there in the kickoff classic, and we got beat by him, and so that's how we kind of got noticed by the Kansas United. They changed their name to what's the new name now?
CBG, Certified Bucket Getter.
Certified bucket getter. So what's
Okay.
it been like playing with Jada, you know? Because, like I said, you guys are both great defensive players, and you guys bring a lot to the team. So what's it been like?
It's been great. She's really good. Like, I love playing with her because she can play all around. And if we need her to score, she's definitely going to get us that bucket.
That's it.
Oh,
But what's her
that's cool.
defense like, though, Zoe? Because you're a defensive player, but you two on the court can pretty much cover or guard any girl on the court. So what's y'all's defense like? Do you guys feed off defense? And, you know, what's it like?
I think when one person gets something going, we all just start going with each other. Like, it's just really good all around.
Well, Jada, Zoe, I got to ask you this question, man. You know, you guys open up this Friday afternoon at 12 noon against a team called the Phenom that beat y'all a few months back. And Jada, I know you played on that team a little bit, so you got a little bit more chemistry with them. But what's it going to be like going into Friday afternoon to a team that beat you, and you guys don't lose very many ball games going against and having another chance to play them? What's that going to be like?
Well, I would still like them because I played on that team before, but since my team is like a family, I'm gonna try my hardest and work my hardest to try to beat them.
That's what I'm talking about. That's keeping it 100. So, Zoe, what's it like to you? Because I know before you was coming off the bench in the last couple of weeks, you know, coaches Gino and Will was giving you a chance to start. So what's that been like?
It's been really cool. I'm so glad I got that opportunity, too, to show why I'm out there on the court starting.
Okay. So what's something you guys got to do this weekend to bring home the gold ring? What you guys got to do?
Box out and make sure we're focused. And if we're up by a team, because we've done this a lot, we let them get back in the game. We need to make sure we control the game ourselves. Not them.
Okay.
So Jada, I know you've been with Kansas United for more than for a few years, but your dad's one of the coaches. So what's it like having your father as a coach?
It's actually good having my father as a coach because he knows what I need to work on even more.
That's it.
I got a follow-up question.
Okay.
Z, what is it like having your dad as the assistant coach? Because I know he be coaching you on the road home, back and forth from the games. What is that like, Z?
I mean, it's actually good. I'm glad he pushes me because
Okay.
whenever I need him to push me, that's why I'm going to be successful in life, because of him.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Woo,
Zoe.
Z.
But Jada, I got to tell you though, man, it's so fun to watch your game and watch your game grow in the last year from your free throw to your jump shot. And I mean, I tell everybody right now, your game is kind of like is kind of marked like Scottie Pippen from baseline. This young lady's unstoppable. But I tell you, it's the little things that she do. If you ask her to cover the best girl on the court, she's going to do it. If you ask her, I need 5 or 6 rebounds, she's going to do it. If you ask her, hey, we need you to go get 10 points, she's going to do it. So I think that's what makes this team so unique because, going into last week when I did the stats, the scoring came down. One lady had 43 for the weekend, and one had 40, one had 39, 38, 26. Wow. I mean, it was an even scoring.
And what's the name of the team?
And the name of the team is what?
Certified Bucket Getter.
Bucket getter. That's what it sounds
That's
like.
what they do. That's what they do. Well, Jada, I know you scrimmaging, man. I wanted to have you on this show, but I got to tell the listeners, though, man. I mean, guys, Jada's dad is 6'9", and I'm telling you, Jada, every time I look up, she's growing. I think right now she's probably sitting about 5'9", 5'10", and not playing a center position. Like she said, she can play all five positions and cover all 5. So I think that's really cool. But Jada, I appreciate you coming on Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports, and I'll see you tomorrow night when we have practice and we get ready for this weekend.
I might even show up too.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Jada. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Well, Z, that was your friend Jada, man. Like I said, I know you've gotten a chance to play with Hustle and Sting and SWAT. I know that sounds like a lot of team. I don't really shop you around, folks. I really don't. I promise you. But, some of the teams is we started with. Sting's a team that you always play with and always will be with. Hustle was our little AAU team here, but a lot of the young ladies play softball. But you got a chance to get this opportunity to play with United and, United, Certified Bucket Getters, whatever you want to call them. What's that been like to you, though? What has that done for your game?
It's made me a lot better because we're traveling a lot too, so I'm getting to see a lot of people that I don't usually go against. So it's giving me tougher competition, and now I know what I need to work on even harder.
So what do you think that you've done in your game to improve your game in the last 6 months of the year? What have you done to make your game better?
I've been training a lot, especially in the summertime. Even if it's hot outside, I'm always out there. And I've been working on my jump shot a lot now because as I get older, I'm still short, so I'm going to have to use my floaters and my jump shot a lot, too.
Thinking ahead. I like that.
Okay.
And for the listeners, those that may not know, a lot of times you get parents that push your kid. There's time to push them, and then there's times not to. So you want to keep them encouraged. Z right here, dad, mom does not have to push her. It can be snowing, sleeting, whatever. She's always working on her game, and that's what makes her so special and stand out to me, is because you don't have to push her. She's more bugging you. Hey, can I go outside? Can I do this? Can we go here? That's what you need as a future leader. So keep up the good work, Z.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you folks, man, this week is going to be a tough tournament, man. You know, you're bringing out of the 34 teams, 15 of these teams that can win it. You got Phenom, you got Certified Bucket Getters United, you got Crush Queens out of Oklahoma, you got the team Indiana Future, was a hot top team. You got the team Family out of Missouri, you know, that beat us in the AAU Nationals. It's so funny. We just beat them 2 weeks before that, and they come back and beat us pretty good. Probably beat us by 15 to 20 points up there in Ohio. Kind of smacks us around, and that's one thing about Kansas United Certified Bucket Getters. They don't get beat like that very often, you know. The worst I've ever seen them get beat like that is playing against older teams, but somebody their own age group. It's really crazy. But you got a lot of great competition coming this weekend. You know, Academy of Hoops, man, is coached by, you know, Austin Johnson, the former OU basketball player. Has some great girls in the Texas area all around. That's really good. And, you know, the thing about Kansas United Certified Bucket Getters, they beat a lot of these teams. Gino and Will has done a great job, you know, coaching these girls up and getting them ready. You know, Will played for Wichita State back in the day. You know, Gino's coached a lot of girls basketball, and their chemistry with the girls, man, is really great, man. You know, people can judge the book before they read it, but I tell you, man, my daughter's been blessed to play with some good coaches, but these two guys, man, are world-class ag guys and do anything in the world for you. So I'm really blessed, but like I said, it's going to be some great competition. You know, we're going to have to play lights out to go win the tournament, but I just tell you, know, Z's going to be going into the junior high, and I keep telling her she got to turn her game even more to a high school game. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you're not a little kid no more. You know, You're not the little cute Zoe that can dribble real good. You know, you got to turn your game to the next thing, and that's one thing that she does. Like RT said, I don't push her, man. There's some days I'm like, girl, it's too hot to be out there shooting, but she knows what she got to do to fix the jump shot. She knows what she got to do to make that pass, to get that dribble, to get that rebound. So I've been blessed, you know, her being on some good teams, but I said I think this traveling ball has helped a lot, though, man. It really has. So I thank you for joining the show, Z, man. It's always a pleasure to listen to you talk, and then have one of your teammates that tell you folks, if you don't know about this young lady,
Jada Davis,
man. I'm telling you, I'm not saying it because this is my show, our show. I'm saying it because this young lady can go, and I'm just telling you, every time I look up, man, she just gets taller and taller. You know, she probably started off about 5'6" when we first started. I'm telling you right now, she's pushing 5'10", 5'11" right now, man. Just over the weekend, it's like, man, we're taking a picture, and she just got everybody beat. And I just tell you, man, they got some good ball players, man. 1 through 9, man. They can go. So good luck to them this weekend.
Good luck.
Go take care of business. And what do we do here, Z? We do what?
Keep it 100.
Oklahoma what?
High school sports.
We'll be right back after one of our what?
Sponsor.
Look at Z.
All right, Z. Thank you. Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Wednesday night. Like I said, we just got to talking. I'm a just got to talking to Zoe and Jada Davis, two young ladies that play for Kansas United and Certified Bucket Getters. They're in a tough tournament this weekend. The Nationals here in Oklahoma. They went down last week and played the Nationals. They were in Iowa and Nebraska. It was weird, folks. Omaha, Nebraska, because one part was Omaha and the other part was Iowa, and I was so confused because I don't know my states anyway. So it just made it more confused. But I got to say, those ladies took care of business. Went down there last week and ended up going 6-0. I think you're ended up going 6-0. Giving up only 51 points and scoring over 266 points. I tell you, man, took home a gold ring, and they're going to try to do the same thing here. Were you static? I'll try to do the same thing here this week. But I just tell you this though, it's going to be tough because there's some great competition. But folks, this is kind of like the competition in basketball. It's the same competition in 6A football. Okay. Even though Bigsby might have got away, but Deer Creek say they come to play. It's that time, baby. The 6A1 football. Okay. Deer Creek is here to take care of business. So starting off at number 1 in 6A football is the Deer Creek Antlers, coming off a 6A state championship runner-up, lost to Powerhouse Bigsby, who has now moved on to Big 6A, and they're going to have their work cut out for them. But I tell you, even though Deer Creek lost their big lineman in Sexton, they still have 7 returning starters to help them get to another state championship. And on the offensive side, it would be led by sophomore quarterback Grady, how do you put it?
Adamson,
who is thrown for 3,000 yards as a freshman, folks, and 29 TDs. I tell you, man, I tell people all the time, they think I'm BSing. Deer Creek will be your next Bigsby. It's out there on his island by itself. Kids are going to move in. You ain't going to know about them moving in. They do got a good move in. I don't know his name. He's a DB that came in from Hoover, Alabama. I'm just telling you, folks, these kids are going to sneak in the back door, and you ain't going to know where to hit them. Because I'm telling you, when you start winning, people's going to move in. Because they're just a couple pieces of the puzzles away from winning the state championship. And now they feel like, hey, Deer Creek is gone. We've already beat Choctaw last year Bigsby gone. They already beat Choctaw last year at their house. So what do you think they're thinking? This is our house.
Cakewalk.
Our house. Y'all didn't know I can freestyle.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you though, man. So I mean, they got some weapons coming back. Like I said, they got the quarterback, which they talking highly of this young man. What he did as a freshman, he's gonna come in as a sophomore. I'm pretty sure he got some mop up time because they beat some guys last year. Joining him and be in the backfield will be what some of these kids' names. But I'm just telling you right here. Wilson and Mason Miller. Wilson, he led the team last year with 1,000 yards last year as a running back and that receiver. His main target is going to be Beckley Dalton and Byron Ross. Both together combined for over 900 yards last season. And on defense, they would be led by Mr. Beers and Mr. Maddox, combined for over a total of 134 tackles. So Deer Creek got some players that's gonna come back, and they also, like you said, they got some move-ins though, man. I just tell you, it's gonna be really interesting who's gonna win that 6A because now you don't have Bigsby in your way. That the door is wide open. So coming in at number 2 is who?
Choctaw.
Who?
Choctaw.
Choctaw what?
That gold standard.
Gold standard. So I'm gonna let E talk about them yellow jackets.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
So we got them coming in as the number 2 team in 6A2 this year. On offense, everybody knows the name by now, led by Steel Wassel, the man of steel, committed to University of Akron. And then you got R.J. Jackson coming back. He'll be playing a little bit of tight end, H-back. And then Latrell will be the running back, and then who else? O-line, led by Gabe Gaines. O-line, going to be a real young. So Gabe's got his work cut out for him, being the leader of that O-line and making sure everything goes well in the trenches. So, I think and then on defense, you got Will Smith, who just picked up an offer from OSU, and then will be led with alongside him will be Cam Hunt and Amari Jones.
2 defensive backs, man. They moved in last year, one from Midwest City and one from PC North. So I mean, it's kind of a great pickup because think about if you don't have those 2 guys, man. What you're looking like, man. You're probably lean in that secondary, and I just think it's going to be wide open, for a lot of guys because they talk about that offensive line. The only guy you got coming back is Gabe Gaines, a young man that broke his foot earlier. So is he going to be ready by the Dell City game? Because you're open up with a powerhouse,
with a monster.
It ain't no cupcake. You can see we got it on the table right here, folks. You ain't got no cupcake. You ain't open up one of them Arkansas butter ball teams. You open up with a team that's hungry. They got beat in the first round along just like the Jackets. So you got 2 teams that's going to be battling. Both trying to make their mark, and one 5A and the other one 6A. Dell City drops down to 5A, and I tell you, I think the 5A is tougher than the 6A1 because 6A small because it's so tough, man. There's so much competition. You got Carl Albert. I'm peeking under the tent because I know RT want to talk about this next week. But you got Carl Albert, you got McAllister, you got not Deer Creek, you got Guthrie, you got Bishop McGinnis. You got some teams. Midwest City, still got. Look at that. That's Collinsville. I mean, we got the teams that some of these guys might not even make the playoffs. So I just tell you, what 5A going to be really interesting next week when we talk about it. But I think Choctaw, I think they make the playoffs. Do I think they win it? I don't think they win it. I just think there's going to be somebody you're not expecting to win it because I don't know if Choctaw has enough on defense. Man, they lost a lot. When you lose, one of the top defensive linemen in the state, in Deshaun Brown, and, and you lose some of those guys in the secondary or that's, played the defensive line that's been there 2 or 3 years. Man, you got guys that's coming in that's never started a game. And then, you got, in 6A Smalls, they throw the ball around. So, I mean, how good is your corners? How good is the Cam Hunt? He was hurt last year. Lamar Jones, coming over from Midwest City. Could he start anywhere else? Did he go to Choctaw because he had a good chance to start? So you're going to get to see some of these guys that's never played in the game get a chance to play in the game. I think the offense is going to be fine. I think still, he got some weapons in Jack Smith. I think they're going to be fine. A kid that they said has over 2,500 yards, catching the ball. I mean, that's a lot of yards. A big-sized kid. He's 6'2". But it just tells you what they got. You're talking about this, but ain't nobody talked about Juju. He's probably one of the most lightning athletic kids on the field. Man, the kid touches the ball, he can go. So I think they're gonna score some points. But can they stop anybody? That's going to be the key. You talk about Will Smith, but Will Smith, I'm not talking about the one that got slapped in the show
Who did the slap?
Yeah, he did.
He did slap. I'm sorry. Maybe this Will Smith going to get slapped. I'm joking. But I'm just saying. But you're talking about Will Smith, a young man, is a hell of a basketball player. Has already picked up a D1 commit to Oklahoma State. Man, I mean, because of his size and his speed, kid is athletic. So I mean, I think you got him. But, who you got around them? No, I know they still got the Cash kid, Cash Williams, but plays quarterback. But that kid's a baseball young man. So, I mean, how long is he going to keep playing football? I know he's be the next in line to be the QB, but it'd be really interesting what they do down over at there in the Yellow Jacket Lane.
There's another guy on Choctaw's defense that I think could have a pretty good year. I forget his last names, but his first name's Byron. He kind of just caught storm at the end of the year. He came in toward the end of the season and made some noise on the defensive line, but I'm gonna say this, and it's what I've been saying ever since we've been talking about this upcoming football season, and that if Choctaw is gonna win state, this is their year because they got too much. They're losing a whole lot after this year. I mean, they're losing many of their main contributors: Steele, RJ, Jack Smith, Latrell. I mean, you just got a bunch of people leaving after this year. So, and then. I think with Bixby being out of the way and, you got Midwest City and Dell City, two of their rivals, if you will. They're out of the way in the 5A. So, I mean, this is the year. If Choctaw's going to do it, this is the year. And then if they're not able to do it this year, I don't know how long we'll have to wait until we see them get back to it.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
This is a good point, but I don't know. I don't know if Choctaw can make it to the championship. You got Stillwater, Booker T. Washington.
Yeah. I mean, 6A2, I mean, it's still a very strong conference, but I'm just saying, if Choctaw's going to win state anytime within the next 10 years, in the next decade, I think their best chances this year.
Well, I tell you one thing that it kind of helps them. I know they're playing a brutal schedule right off the bat. They're going against Dell City. Then you got Edmond Santa Fe. Then you got Westmore. Then I think a few weeks after that, down the road, you got Deer Creek, which the winner of that'll probably win conference, and the other one won't probably see each other to the championship. So that's a good thing because I think Deer Creek is the toughest team probably in 6A small. Besides them, I don't know what Stillwater got. I know they're next on our deal. I mean, they still got a Gundy, but I don't know if they got enough to get there. I mean, it all depends off what they did last year. And they really didn't make a run last year. I think, like I said, I really think Deer Creek's the team. But Choctaw get to see Deer Creek. They won't see him. Last year wasn't to the playoffs. Yep. This year they get to see him. In the regular season. So I think that helps a lot to prepare you to play them in the playoffs, so you know what they've done and what they haven't done. So it should be really interesting, though, man. With Corbin. Plus, he also got a couple new coaches. Though you got a new defensive coordinator, you got a new offensive coordinator, which, like I said earlier, in one of the shows, I think still calls the offense already. But you still got to have somebody to kind of have a game plan ready to put a game plan for the game plan. So we'll see how it goes, man. Like I said, it's going to be really interesting. Corbin's been there 6, 7 years now. I got to ask this question though: if he wins the state championship, does he drop the mic and go into this next journey?
What will that next journey be?
I can see him playing, coaching some college football. I mean, the guy knows the sports. I mean, he knows the game. He's already done good at the high school level. He was at Zapopa. I mean, really didn't do too well there. Went to Del City, took him to the playoffs team. But I mean, I think anybody. I mean, not taking out from you, Coach Jones. I think you're a hell of a coach. But I think if you got enough great athletes, and you know anything about X's and O's at football at Del City, they're going to get in the playoffs. He's turned Choctaw around, with a lot of help. Kids moving in, parents, buying homes out here. It's probably the best place to buy a home because you can't really buy nothing in Miller City or Del City. So I think he can go to the next level and coach. Division II, maybe a small Division I. Maybe a position coach and work his way up. But I mean, that's time to tell. I know he got some young kids. So right now, Choctaw might be the place to be. But like you said, E said earlier. I mean, after this year, I think it's going to be a drop off because there's a team on here I think that's going to end up being a powerhouse pretty soon. That's I think Putnam City West, with William Alexander. I just think
they got a nice quarterback and receiver out there.
And also with me saying that, like with it being the last year, that's not taking anything away from the kids coming up at Choctaw, the freshmen, juniors. Like I'm not taking anything away from that, but I mean,
hate folks. Don't we tell them to stock shelves?
I mean, but look at the shoes that they're going to have to fill.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. So
it'd be interesting though. But we're gonna move on to number 3, and that's who? Big RT.
Stillwater.
You
kind of touched on that. Gundy's was his youngest boy. Will be leading that pack on offense. I believe he got big tight end out there, Josh Ford, that helps him out a lot in his passing game. It's Stillwater. It's Gundy's son, so they get all the extra support, coaching, guidance needed. And just like you were saying, it's a good place to buy homes out in Choctaw. It's the same thing with Stillwater, so that's growing as well.
Yeah. I think Stillwater's going to be that team, man. I mean, if they can go out and do the things and have a great defense, I don't know if they're still running that zombie defense, but it's Gundy's last year, Gage Gunner. I mean, he has a brother that played there. He has 2 older brothers that played there. His dad's, Mike Gundy, so the guy knows the game, studies the game, watches the game. So I think it'd be really interesting to see what they got this year. I think that they'll be a contender. I don't know if they got enough on defense to win it all. That's the only thing. I think offense, kind of like Choctaw, I think they're going to outscore you, but are they going to be able to stop you? And you got to stop people because everybody say defense was what?
Championships.
And I don't know if either one of those teams got enough on defense. I think they might go down and score 80 points against each other, and whoever has the ball last is going to win. So I think Deer Creek does have enough on defense, but I don't know if their offense is going to be explosive as Choctaw or Del City. So it'd be really, really, really interesting. Coming in at number 4 is who? Booker T.
Booker T
is one of those weird teams, man. It seems like every year somebody come and cherry picks one of their players and say, hey, come over here. There's better things over here in one of these other 6A schools, big 6A schools. So Booker T is led by, his quarterback, Lathan Boone. I think the kid's seem like he's been there forever. Every time you look up, the kid's there. But, he's a 4-year starter at QB. I think, in his mind, he's been there. But they haven't won a state championship since, 2017. So I know they want to get back there and do the things they need to do. He has a great receiver in T's that had 31 catches and for 618 yards and 9 TDs. They got a good sized tight end that's going to help them. I tell you, a young man that I kind of know his dad's a preacher, Mr. Chalk. Everybody talk highly of this kid. I kind of see him in 247 stuff. So young man, his brother played at Choctaw, went off and played ball at Southwestern. So Booker T got some players, but one of the biggest thing is the rumor is that they lost one of their running backs to one of the 6A bigs. So we shall see how that pans out because I hope they didn't, but last year it happened. But Stillwater always finds a way to to get to the playoffs. But like I said, they haven't won once in 2017, so it'd be really interesting to see what they do this year. Especially they don't have Bigsby in their way again. Coming in at number what?
Number five. Cinco.
Number five. Sand Springs.
Yeah, you talked about them a lot.
Sand Springs was kind of the dark. Was the kind of the dark horse last year. Knocked off Del City in the first round, and I tell people all the time they knocked off Del City because it was a cold night, and Del City's out there. shivering, you know. And I'm gonna keep it real. We call this show "Keep It 100." Us brothers don't like the cold. We don't. We just don't. I don't. RT's a little bit more light skinned than me, so he might like the cold.
There you go.
But I don't like the cold. E, you like the cold?
No.
No. So, you know, Sand Springs out there, no shirts on, catching balls, running around like, oh yeah, you know, they go deer hunting. I don't go deer hunting. I'm just real with you. I don't go deer hunting. So I just think that, you know, they put a bad taste in Dale City's mouth, and I think that's why Dale City's is hungry. But Bobby Klink's a good coach. He's in his third year there. He got some challenges to do. He got to replace.
He lost a lot.
He lost a lot, baby. You lose 13. Woo! It ain't Friday the 13th, but he lost 13 starters. I mean, and he'll find some way to, you know, to get the kids coached up because he's a great coach. I do. I'm a big Bobby Klink fan. I think he does a good job out of Sand Springs. I think they're going to be one of the teams, kind of like a Deer Creek. They could be a sleeper and come catch you if you're not ready. So he got his work cut out. But, you know, for another strong run, he's got to get those guys coached up and ready to go because losing that many kids, man, you know, losing your quarterback, tailback, you got a lot of work. But, you know, who he is, Bobby Klink, played at OU, you know, his coaches some other schools. So he knows what it takes to, you know, to make another run at the playoffs. Coming in at number 6 is who?
Muskogee.
I'm going to let somebody else take this one. Give me a chance to catch my breath.
Yeah, so Muskogee, led by QB Jamarion Ficklin. He'll be the face of the offense. Sophomore quarterback that threw for over 2,300 yards and 18 touchdowns. His top receiver will be Jaden Bell, who caught 50 passes for 988 yards and 9 touchdowns. And then Anthony Watson is a threat at tight end, running back, or receiver. So pretty versatile guy that can move around at the skill positions on the offense. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got Tayon Brewer and Parker Pellet. So, you know, Muskogee, they're always one of those teams that, you know, they're either up or they're down. And when they're up, they're really up. And when they're down, they're really down. So, you know, we'll see what they're able to do this year. So, yeah, that's number 6, Muskogee.
Can't sleep on them.
Can't sleep on them.
Do not sleep on them. Coming in at number 7 is Lawton. You know, another great quarterback. You know, Darius Hardy will be the face of the offense. Fans will be excited about Tyrone Ackmers.
Amaker?
Amaker?
Yeah.
Is that like Angel Ackerman?
No, almost close,
but no cigar. Yeah, he was hurt last year, and I think the fans are gonna be excited because he spent a lot of time hurt. You know, the kid's a 3-year starter, but he will turn some heads and do some big things on that offense, and probably on the defensive side of the ball too. Like I said, it's going to be really interesting. Lodge one of those places that you don't really want to go to. Getting the bus is always dark and rainy and cloudy.
Is that Cameron Field?
Yeah, Cameron Field. That field.
That was one of the worst bus rides there in Enid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of like a Twilight Zone. You know, it kind of puts you out there. So when you get off Guyman too. But
I ain't have to. My cousin went to college in Guyman though, so I had to.
I don't know that much about Guyman, but I just think Lawton's one of those teams that you can't sleep on, though, man. I mean, they've been down the last few years, but it also depends on who's moved in too, though. You know, it's a military base, Army base. You know, they might have 4 or 5 kids getting off the bus right now that just moved in. You know, from California or somewhere, and guess what? They're enrolling in Lawton High, or so. There's no telling what they're going to be like. But you said, I think they got one of their better playmakers back. That's going to help them on the offensive side of the ball and turn some heads. And on the defensive side of the ball, they got Andrew Jacobson, who returns at the middle linebacker. I think he'll anchor that defense to, you know, help them win some ball games. So and also try to find a way to get in the playoffs. So, you know, so it'd be really interesting to see what Lawton ends up this year. And coming in at number 8 is who?
PC North.
PC North. I'm gonna let RT get this one.
Okay. So the offensive coordinator, Coach Lane.
You know, I was kind of reading about him. You know, he took a year off and he came back. Okay. So now he became the head coach.
I believe so.
So I mean, I just tell you how much love they have for this young man because you could take a year off the staff, then come back and they hire you as the head coach. And PC North is a team. I'm telling you right now. To me, that's kind of a dream job.
They're going to have a QB battle.
Yeah, they got a QB battle. They got 3 of them, don't they?
Quite a few. So when you got a battle like that, you got to make a decision pretty quick.
You got to make a decision. But I think it's kind of like Dell City. I think if whoever don't get it is going to get moved to a defensive back or a receiver that's going to maybe help the team somewhere else. And sometimes it's all right if you take a young man. I know Memphis City used to do this a lot. I know AJ Hinch, you know, was a QB. went and played at Stanford baseball. But his sophomore year, his junior year, you had a Kel Gunn, you had a Jeremy Woods in front of him, so they moved him at receiver, let him play a little bit of receiver. But what is a QB like the most?
Throwing the rock.
Throwing the rock.
Having the ball in his hands.
And so if a QB can throw to another QB, he knows how to run the routes, when to break, when to jump, all that. So I think it does help develop a young man. If he's playing QB, he can go there and play a little bit of receiver and get his feet wet. So, and I think that's what they plan on doing, though. If Mr. Which one is it? Jacobs? I'm sorry, folks. I lost my train of thought. QB John Roberts, Duke, and Lewis Jackson. If Mr. Jackson, Phil Jackson, not the coach, but the football player, if he don't get the job at QB, they're gonna move him to receiver. And I think that's gonna be cool because like I said, he knows what those other two QBs are thinking, and they're all on the same page. And I caught this last night. I know I'm jumping off the subject a little bit, but last night I'm at my little league practice, right? Okay. And then we're sitting there, man, and we're installing our offense, man, and so we start scrimmaging a little team. So he got this little corner. He walks up on my receiver, and we had called like a slant.
Like he gonna press him?
Oh, he walked up on like he gonna press him. Like he gonna press him.
Oh, okay.
So I checked. I looked over at Jerry. I said, Jerry, check.
Yeah.
Pop the head. That's fade.
Yeah.
So we popped the head with the kid guy. I said, hey, we run the face. So this, we're audible. It's sixth grade.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
You're preparing them.
We're preparing
for
the next level. Coaches. That's what we do. And think about it. I was out there last night. Zoe comes over to me. Man, you got that Choctaw collar on. You got them Jones hat on. I said, hey, I'm here to coach.
He didn't say that to them players that went over there.
He didn't say that to them players that went over there. And left call out. There you go. You said it what?
Hey, I got it straight.
Got it straight. But what I'm saying is that we checked from the line of scrimmage. And guess what? We hit that kid deep. Little boy came over because I've been working on him. Said, get that top off and go.
And he tried to lunge at him when he tried to jam him.
Man, we was gone.
He didn't move him. He was gone.
Hey, I tell you how good practice was. Everybody stopped what they was doing and came and watched us. Because what me, Joan, and Jerry, and they do, we put on the show.
Oh, y'all put on a clinic.
We put on the clinic.
We need to go live.
Because that's what they do. Because I'm just telling you, I won at 707.
Yeah.
I won when I coached the Little Bombers.
Definitely did that.
Came out of retirement last year and took Jones to a what?
Championship.
And guess where I'm at this year? My little nephew's in his 6th grade year.
That's cool.
And guess what? I missed my baby's game to watch my nephew. Because you know why, folks? Because I keep it 100. Because my brothers did the same thing when I was coaching my boy.
There you go.
That's what we do. That's called family.
That is.
We
Tony
like bump
Johnson,
heads.
Nick Saban.
That's what I am.
Of Little League football.
Little League football. But I ain't never made a dime off it. Some of these coaches out here robbing these people.
But guess what?
Talk to me.
Hey, I wish we had another helmet. I do recall them Oklahoma Bombers. Shout out to E. Good.
Oh,
he got
you. That's a low.
Yeah, he hit you on the first play. That double reverse pass.
Double reverse. But I'm gonna tell you why they had that. They held me like 9 times. The ball should have been sacked, thrown. I mean, just come on, man.
Okay.
Everybody. That's the only time they scored that whole game. But hey, that's all right. Out of all my years, I've coached from 5 years old to 12 years old with the Little Bombers. I might have lost 10 games, and I only lost 2 to 2 teams in the state of Oklahoma. 2, folks. 2. That's OKC Bombers and the Bedlam because I lost my quarterback because he had broke his hand. But I'm okay with that because y'all see that boy Rabbit. I know he from Carl Albert, but he was a Bomber. He went to CA because of TJ. And he signed him a deal the other day. You see that?
Yeah.
That's what we do over here, folks. So if you want your kid to get, what does Jim Tabor say? Shaping the minds of the youth. And that's what I do. I shape them up and get them ready. Because I feel good about my coaching. I tell myself all the time, I should have went coach high school football because I would have a state championship ring. I would be having my players in check. They wouldn't be jumping off sides. But that's what we do over here. Here we go. I better quit. We better quit. I ain't jabbing at nobody. I'm just keeping it 100 because I'm telling you right now, I threw my hat 3 times last night. And guess what? A mama walked over to me and she said, thank you. I said, yeah. She said, thank you. I said, for what? She said, for getting on to that boy. And I said, well, ma'am, I'm going to tell you about myself. I'm tough, but I love them all like they're my own.
Yep.
I ain't got a kid on this team. I got my nephew, so there ain't no daddy ball here.
No.
I ain't buying nobody no scoreboard. I ain't buying nobody no shoes.
There we go.
I'm just out here just keeping it 100. And that's what I'm telling you, I'm having fun.
That's why you don't get them likes and retweets.
Oh, why?
Right there.
Because people don't like what I say?
Yeah.
Because I put out a video about your kid and you don't retweet? I'm just asking. I put a hell of a video out about Choctaw, and I ain't had one retweet yet. And I know y'all watch everything we doing over here, but it's okay. I'm here to be nice this year. Me and Ronnie are buddies. Ronnie gonna tell you about the show. I'm cheering for Steel. I got me a hat.
We're gonna bring him on.
We're gonna bring Ronnie ain't ready to come on, man. Ronnie, he might come on. He might come on and do some picks. He ain't gonna. I mean, Ronnie will come on. Ronnie might be the only one. I ain't heard from no Aaron McCall. Well, yeah, Aaron. Call me. Even Coach Corbin said he gonna come on and do a show.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'm gonna do the show and Coach Jones and Coach Corbin.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
That'd
right
be
before that week 0. Yeah. 2 guys that played at Carl Albert.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys that coached at
Dale City.
2 guys that that you know are CA, got the CA blood.
Had high seeds and lost in the first round.
Oh shit! See, he taking shots. Oh shit! Boom, boom. Oh damn. We better move on, man.
There's just similarities between them.
Oh man, but Coach Jones is ready. Corbin gonna be ready, man. Yeah. They both got a chance to win state. They do.
They really do.
We take shots.
I'm excited for this matchup. I really am.
I
think that's the best week 0 matchup.
Hey, RT was so pumped up, man. He's like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. And then he found out Choctaw Carl ever played. Carl ever played. Coweta.
Oh, that'll be a good game, though.
You got to go to the Queen, don't you?
Yes, sir.
He going to be on that turnpike.
Oh, Mesa Ford over there.
Yeah.
Mesa Ford said he
can
put on a
show.
I see Mesa Ford. He's been picking up some offers in the past week. So
what did he get?
Some D2s around here. I think he's got, the D2s that recruit Oklahoma, like Emporia State.
That's good school.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to go look at his Twitter, but.
That's one of Dobbins' boys.
Dobbins, great guy.
Shout out to Dobbins. What school he go to?
Oh, Dobbins?
Yeah.
Oh, he's called Tulsa. He had to throw that in here. Yeah. What we got next?
Number 9, you got Tahlequah. Moving back into 6A for the first time since 2007. The offense will be led by their outstanding receiver, Race Stop. That's one hell of a name. Race Stop. And they're returning 7 starters on the offense. Strength in the defense, they got who's this? Tiger? Is that how you pronounce that? Tiger? You got Tiger on defense, and then they'll be led by Mason Watkins, who had 86 tackles, and then Jaden Moore, 6 foot junior with 64 tackles, and 4 of those tackles being for loss. Or is that so? If you get a tackle for loss, is that a different stat than a tackle?
Yeah. Oh, it's a tackle for loss. It's kind of like a sack, behind the line of scrimmage.
I was just wondering if they were like logged differently.
I will say about Tahlequah, though, nobody knows that much about them. RT probably a little bit more about them because they were in 5A. But I tell you, it's one of those teams that, like you said, you got 7 returning starters. They're going to play smash mouth football. Are they going to line up and try to throw the ball down the field on you? Hell no. They're going to probably have a big-ass offensive line, big country school. They're going to run and run at you all day long, try to wear you down. Fourth quarter, you're going to be tired, and they're going to still be running at you. So, Tahlequah is one of those teams that can sneak in there. Like I said, you got 7 returning starters. You got some players, like you said, the top, receivers, restop. So, they do throw the ball. But I just tell you right now, man, I mean, it's one of those games that if you don't come prepared for it, you can lose it. And don't try to schedule them for your homecoming because you might get upset on your homecoming. Yeah. So, Tahlequah is going to be one of those teams, man. Like I said, it's a little bit of traveling. But, you got to be ready for them because, like I said, they got some players. And they're always going to have players because it's a football town, So, and that's what it's all about. They get together and tailgate, drink some beer, and probably go down to the lake. So, there we go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Number 10, Bartlesville. Team you'll have to keep your eye on with new coach Harry Wright. He's got 10 starters on both sides of the ball.
This team will make the playoffs.
Think so? Think Bartlesville?
But I'm going to tell you, man, if you watched them play Choctaw a couple times, they kind of got blown up, but they did some good things. They're just, like I said, they got a new coach. It's probably going to turn the program. They're getting a new stadium there. The facility is nice. It's its own little atmosphere out there. So, when you got 10 guys that played, that started 10 games or, played 10 games or whatever, and you got returning starters, and they know what it's like to be in the trenches, when the game is on the line, they might have lost those games, but they're going to find a way to win those games now because they're not freshmen or sophomores. Right. Now they're sophomores and juniors or seniors. So I just think that this is a team you got to keep your eye on. I put that. Keep your eye on this team because, granted, are they going to go win conference? Probably not, but they're going to find a way to get in the playoffs because I just think they got too much up upside than some of these other teams like a PC North that, is rebuilding everybody, starting a new quarterback and all that. And these guys, they got some guys. I mean, having 10 stars return, that's big time, man.
Yeah,
really
that's
big.
huge. That's huge.
I mean, that's really huge. I mean, it's big time.
Leadership.
So, I'll tell you right now, don't make them your homecoming. I just tell you that. Don't make them your homecoming. But they're going to shock some people. And they'll lose some games they might not supposed to lose, but they're going to beat some people they shouldn't beat too, though. So keep your eye on them. I'm going to let RT talk about this next team, PC West.
PC West. Willix Alexander. Better known coaching out there at Douglas, and I think he did some over there at Mount St. Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that, Lenny Burr has done an awesome job of recruiting the best coaches that can kind of relate to that environment over there. And a lot of times when you really can't relate, it's almost like a language barrier. The kids don't quite understand you or may perceive something in a different way. So when you're able to talk their language and, and show them your heart and build them up because may need a little extra, that he'll bring that because he's dealt with that for many years, and he got a couple of former players there that's coaching as well. Shout out to Nick Robinson, who was one of the players that we coached when we used to bang against Charles Thompson's Titans.
Who won those games?
Who came out on top? We went back and forth, but the last year that we were all coaching, we put our boys in a limo. That's the truth. And went over there and gave CT that L. It happens like that sometimes.
It happens like that.
You know what I mean? So we took care of business. But yeah, when you got former players who they've seen play at a high level from Little League, and even having an opportunity to go D1 in basketball or football, having those players there, it brings more out of those kids. And I believe I forgot the kids' names, but the quarterback and the receiver, those kids are some kids to look out for.
Yeah, I think I think Alexander's gonna do a great job, and I think you got Lenny Bird over there as the athletic director, and I think you'll be able to cherry pick some of his kids from basketball and making football. I tell people all the time, man. I told my son-in-law this. He's 6'7". My daughter's 5'5". If your son, or I'm gonna say my grandson, hopefully have one day. If he's 6'1", 6'2", he's gonna go play football. And they both looked at me like, why? I said, because he's not gonna be able to play guard in the NBA. Yeah. Guards now are like LeBron. LeBron's 6'7". LeBron's son is 6'6". His other son's 6'8". So if he's playing 6'1", 6'2", and he's playing a defensive back, or he's playing a slot receiver, he's gonna have a better chance of getting recruited because you don't get all that type of size all the time. So you got to pick your cherry because you get all these kids that think they're gonna be the next KD, but son, boy, you're only gonna be 5'11", so you're never gonna be the next KD. But Spud Webb and Mookie Blaylock and some of them guys are short.
Bogues.
Yeah, Muggsy Bogues. Some of those guys got lucky. They just had hell of a hops. But I'm just telling you right now, if you got a young man that's 6'1", 6'2", and he's a hell of a football player, man, get him to camps. Get him seen. Mm-hmm. I got to give it to Kanigel's little brother, over at Dell City, man. The kid is 6'5". I think he's going to be a junior next year. Really didn't start that much with Dell City, but he received a D1 offer. You know why? Because he's 6'5". I mean, when you're 6'5", you can't go find 6'5" every day in your athletics. So, shout out to that young man. I'm telling you right now, I mean, there's going to be some great games week 0, man. Look at this. Let's think about this real quick. I'm going to turn the wheel a little bit. Look at what Dell City lines up. They line up Foreman, D lineman, line up Kanigel. You know what I'm saying? And you got Thompson, Kanaja's brother, he just received an offer. But then Chata runs out there, boom. You run out there with Steele. You run out there with Juju. You run out there with Latrell. Then you run out there with Jackson. Man.
Yeah.
That's big time.
That's some matchups right
That's
there.
some good matchups, man. So you sitting there, both coaches sitting there saying, how can I get this? Because, Robert's sitting over there because Robert took over the defense this year, and he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. So he's sitting over there like, how can I get this great matchup that I got Kanaj on this kid, covering this kid, but then you got Juju coming out of here, then you got Latrell coming here, then if you don't watch out, still do a voodoo, vanish, and he's running down the field, and then you think you about to tackle, he's gonna throw it over top. So you gotta be prepared all the time, man.
Stay
I mean,
disciplined.
people say put a spy on him. I don't think you spy on him, man.
Put a spy on who?
On Steele.
Nah.
I don't think you put a spy on him. I think you go try to hit him and straighten him out. I think you try to ride him.
I mean, you look at what defenses try to do against the Ravens with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
they blitz him.
I tell you though, this The first time Lamar plays against you, he's wear you silly. But the second time, they usually slow him down because they got film on him. So I just think, I don't know, you got enough film on Steele because he does so many good things, though, man. I mean, I will give the kid credit. You know, I know people think I'm a Choctaw basher, but the kid is, I mean, I'm really shocked that he only has Akron, man. I'm surprised K-State didn't come after him or Texas Tech or even Kansas, though. I mean, the things he can do with his feet, though.
But with this whole new transfer portal thing, you never know what'll happen.
Yeah, you're right. We got to give a shout out to the young man over at Mustang. Oh, Katie's son, you know, I think defensive back receiver. He just signed with committed to Air Force, man.
I know who you're talking about. I saw the tweet, but I don't know the name.
I mean, just, you know, Mustang, man. You know, they got Jacoby, that young man. We kind of talked about him last week. I mean, just good to see those young men get scholarships, man. And especially a scholarship you're gonna go help defend our country. So big shout out to that young man, and good luck to him this season and over at Mustang, you know. So man, it's gonna be some great football. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Yeah. I'm pumped up, man, and we're gonna keep doing our little videos and hope you retweet and hope you like them. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, man, we're getting, you know, we put that out, Sunday night, and I'm sitting there talking to our team. I said, when should I drop? In the morning, Zoe said, I said, should I drop tonight or in the morning, Zoe? She said, well, people still up, so you can go and drop it now. And I said, you're right, baby, because they're watching the 10 o'clock news. So I dropped it at 10, and I dropped it again on 5 on Facebook. But folks, man, what we're doing, man, we're giving your kid free pub, man, because you might not like our show or the channel or whatever. Me, man, give some love, man. I mean, these young men that we're getting out there, we're just trying to get their names out there, even though they already got some names. But, man, somebody might not have seen that highlight. Somebody might not have seen that throw. They might not have seen that catch. They might have missed it. And that's what we're doing, man. So I think we had over 1,100 views with the QBs, man. And I think we're sitting over 500, you know, with the Choctaw Dell City kickoff week 0. So we're going to bring something each week to a different young man, different team, different player. You know, we're going to catch some of your greatest highlights and get it out there and on Twitter. And I mean, you like it or move on. But I think it's pretty cool what we're doing, though, man. We're working hard behind the scenes. All three of us got full-time jobs and other things to do in life, man. And you guys don't know, I'm always on the road. I went from Thursday being in Wichita to all the way being in Iowa and driving home Sunday night. And me and RT put that together Sunday night. So we'll be back after one of our what?
After one of our sponsors.
And we're going to bring that OU football.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back.
Man, Dad, all this crazy weather has gotten our roof and gutters all messed up.
Good thing we know some guys over at Rain Down Roofing and Gutters. They can inspect and repair your roof and gutters and get in contact with your insurance company in 72 hours or less.
Call Jay Hunt at Rain Down Roofing and Gutters at 405-473-0674. No job is too big or too small for Rain Down Roofing and Gutters.
Welcome back to Keep It 100, Oklahoma. We're not high school sports no more. We're sports. Oklahoma sports.
Sports.
Because I ain't talking about high school right now. I'm getting into college and a little bit of professional. So, really the only thing to talk about right now with football, I mean, you got, I think fall camp just started this week. You had press conferences yesterday, at least for OU. I need to be better about following both OU and OSU. We'll say something about OSU. They got new lockers in their locker room. It looks really nice in there. I saw it on Jeff Roberson's Snapchat. I saw the new locker room, so that should help with their recruiting a little bit. You know, having that nice locker room, upgraded facilities. So, but anyways, OU recruiting, that has been everything that people around OU have been talking about is their recruiting. You know, people once Lincoln left and then the new staff came in, people were scared about how we were going to be able to recruit because I mean, you can say what you want about Lincoln, but he was a good recruiter. You know, getting 5 stars to come here and whatnot. But I mean, you see BV and his guys, they got something rolling. They got something rolling over here. You're talking 10 commits in the past month. 10 commits in the past month.
Well, it means that they're doing their job. You know, when you got a staff like, you know, DeMarco Murray that's been there for a while, and you got Kel Gundy, and then you bring some of these guys in, you know, it's not like Venables is new to this state. I mean, he knows. I mean, he was here for 10 plus years. Coaching with the Stoops brothers and doing his thing out here as a defensive coordinator. So now he knows that going into the SEC, I have to go get better recruits.
Yep.
And so to compete at that level, you got to go get some of the top players, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's getting the top players in from each state, and so not just here in Oklahoma. And I tell you what I like about Venables. I think he's gonna give every young man a chance. That's a ball player. He don't care how big you are.
Nope.
He don't care how fast you are. Nope. He just wants somebody that knows the game of football.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. It's helping win the game. Because you might go get a 5-star. Doesn't mean he's going to pan out. You might go get a 4-star. Don't mean he's going to pan out. He might flunk out. He might smoke out. Ain't no telling. Man, I'm telling you, the first year of college football, college sports or college in general is tough.
Yep.
I'm telling you, me and Gabe drove home the other day from Wichita, and I was like, man, how many kids on your class you think is still playing a sport? And he looked at me, and I looked at him kind of like that. We gave each other that look. And I said, it's just you and Jeff Robertson.
Yep.
He's at Oklahoma State playing football, representing the Jackets, and Gabe's over at UCO Wrestling. And I'm telling you, and you probably had 25. Well, I'll take that back. You got Cooper Harris. He's over at Wichita State.
Wichita State.
He's over there doing his thing at Wichita. Yep. But I'm saying, out of all those kids, you probably had 20-some kids sign. And I'm not saying they're not going to school, but they're not playing a sport no more. Mm-hmm. It's tough. College football, basketball, any sport you play in college is a full-time job. That's why they're paying you now.
Yeah.
Man, but keep doing your thing. But real quick before I let me get back to that, the young man from Mustang was what, Mr. what?
Keegan Bass.
Keegan Bass. So congratulations, you Keegan Bass, man. I've known your pops, man, for a long time. He was a great football player over at Carl Albert, man, and Miss Katie coached over at Miller City. She's over at Mustang coaching the girls, and she does a great job at coaching women's sports. I tell you, maybe if I lived a little closer, my daughter could be a Mustang Bronco. Not, but hey, sounded good. So, but no, great job, young man, and good luck with you in the Air Force, so representing our country.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to what I was saying, 10 recruits, 10 commitments within the past month. And another thing that a lot of people weren't sure of is with Venables' mindset on a commit. He said once you commit to OU, you're not taking any other visits. You're not going to commit to OU and take visits to Georgia and Alabama and LSU.
You know why he said that, E?
Why is that?
Because he's keeping it what?
Keeping it 100.
He's keeping it 100.
He's keeping it 100.
Where do you go, Coach V?
So, and that's not saying that he can't go on visits. He's just saying don't commit to OU until you know that you know that you know that you know without 100%, without a doubt that you want to be in Norman.
Yeah, Norman. So,
and another thing that I like, another quote, Todd Bates, new D-line coach that Venables brought over from Clemson. He said something that kind of caught my attention. He says, if you lose a 5-star, he may beat you 1 or 2 times. He said if you recruit the wrong 5-star, he'll beat you every single day. I thought that was pretty cool, and I guess that was just testament to you don't see a whole lot of 5-stars. I mean, the only 5-star that OU has committed right now is Jackson Arnold, who is the quarterback in that 2023 class, Elite 11 MVP, and all that.
That's what we just got to talk about, because a lot of these kids don't make it, man. I mean, that's why the transfer portal is so full now, because a kid gets to a school and he thinks he's the man in high school and he was the man on campus. Then he gets to OU or OSU or Georgia, wherever he's at, and guess what? He's just a little fish in a big pond, so he's not getting that pub. He's not getting that extra meal that he used to get from the cafeteria lady because she knew he was going to go score 3 or 4 touchdowns. Yeah. So it's changed the game so much. So these kids are like, instead of sitting there and battling and winning a job, they stay there. Because you know what happened to my son? He redshirted this year. Do I feel like he's a better wrestler than the kid as he's in front of? Hell yeah, he beat him 3 times. But sometimes you got to sit back and wait and let everything open up. It's made him bigger, stronger. The kid is big and strong, man. I'm just telling you. But it's Coach has worked with him all summer, has told him what to do, and Gabe has followed that plan. Sometimes, I'm going to take this from Coach Carter because he says it's a lot. Give you some love, Coach Carter, but he always says trust the process.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to trust the process. I think these kids are so now they're ready to jump the ship and go to the next venue, like, oh, I can go over here and play here. But guess what? They're going to have the same type of players. OU is a top-notch, top 10 program in the nation. Everybody knows that.
Top 5.
Top 5. I'm sorry. Let me get it right.
Top
5. Top 3.
Top 2, not 2.
Oh, shoot. Here we go. He keep changing them. But I'm saying, hey, you got to go ready to compete. If you don't compete, guess what? You're going to not play. And these coaches, hey, they got to save their job. They got to keep getting that big money coming in. They got to keep getting those big endorsements, those TV deals, those commercial deals, or whoever ESPN wants to put on there because the school get paid. And I'm telling you right now, Joe V, he likes that kind of stuff because he wants that money coming in because you know OU's going to be on the ESPN Plus every game they have.
Man, I love that.
Not
every game.
Almost all the girls softball is going to be on.
Oh yeah, girls softball and baseball.
That's what I'm saying. But that's big time though. But that comes because you wear that Crimson McCreen and it's called what? Boomer Sooner OU. So people like to follow the Sooners, man. No matter what state you in, everybody knows about OU. Kind of like my Dallas Cowboys.
All right then. Moving on. Breaking down these 10 commitments that OU got. You got PJ Adebaware. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. 4-star defensive end. Jaquazi Petaway, a 4-star wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
Caden Green, 4-star offensive tackle. Derek LeBlanc, 4-star defensive lineman. Lewis Carter, a 4-star linebacker. Josiah Wagner, 4-star corner. Dalen Smothers, a 4-star running back. Phil Piciotti. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. 3-star linebacker. I think before he signs, he'll be a 4-star. Just watching some of his film, I mean, he's a headhunter. He comes down, he'll hit you hard.
Where's he coming from?
IMG. He's teammates with David Stone.
Okay. So is David Stone looking at going to OU? I heard rumors of
I'm saying that I've been seeing that. Actually, he was on an Instagram live last night with CBS Sports Oklahoma, and he said that he'll be breaking down his top 10 schools here pretty soon, and he said that OU is for sure in the mix. So, but yeah, so I mean, and that would be huge for OU being able to land David Stone. I mean, 5-star guy. I know he's at IMG now, but his family and he's from Del City, just right in the backyard. So I think OU. I mean, they have to land him. So, but yeah, moving on. You got Logan Howland, 3-star offensive tackle, and then their latest commit being Colton Vosick, 4-star defensive end, another guy that'll just come down and hit you big. I think he's 6'6", 6'5", around there. I mean, big kid. Woo. And everybody thought that he was a lock to go to Texas. He's out of Austin. Dad played football at Texas, and so everybody was just like, "No, he's coming to Texas. He's going to be a Longhorn." You saw the pictures of him with Arch Manning. Arch Manning giving his pitch, like, "Oh yeah, Texas," whatever that was, whatever his pitch was. Arch Manning. I'm telling y'all right now, if his last name wasn't Manning, he'd be a 3-star quarterback. But anyways, guess that his pitch didn't work. He came to OU. He was there for a weekend, and then he commits a few days later to Oklahoma. So, I guess Texas fans are pretty salty about that one, I guess, or they're pretending not to be, whatever. And it was funny. There was another commit that Texas lost. And this man, he dropped the mic on him. Somebody asked him, "Why'd you commit to Alabama over Texas?" And he said, "I'd rather have some rings than a Lambo."
Hey, I got to real quick though. You were talking about these OU sports and the things they're doing over at OU, but what's it going to take for OU to get ready for the SEC though?
I think they're already taking steps. I mean, just the whole. I mean, I think Lincoln Riley leaving is probably the best thing that happened to the OU football program, and I'm not saying that out of being salty or whatever, but you look at everything that has changed so far since then. You got Brent Venables, who's a defensive-minded head coach. I think that's what we needed heading into the SEC. Yes, you need a defensive-minded head coach. And the staff that he brought with him, the guys that he brought along with him. I mean, I think the biggest hire from this whole thing that nobody talks about, because this guy's behind the scenes, is Thad Turnipseed. He's going to be the director of football operations. He was there when at Alabama, when Alabama was on the rise. Yes, he was there working under Nick Saban, and the stadium upgrades and the facility upgrades and all this and that he was able to do at Alabama. That's going to be huge going into the SEC, having Thad Turnipseed as here on staff at OU, and same thing with he was there at Clemson. He helped Clemson get their facility upgrades and everything. I mean, that stuff matters in recruiting. Yeah. You know, you want to be able to have these kids come to the top notch, top of the line facilities. You know, getting the proper nutrition, the proper recovery. You know, and you know, I mean, in the materialistic world that we live in, you know, that stuff matters when recruiting kids and getting the best players that you can into your program. So, you know, just that whole thing. If Lincoln didn't leave, I think we're still in the same boat that we were in last year. Yeah. You know, you're just, I mean, mediocrity. I mean, really. I mean, OU was a mediocre team. I mean, yeah, they won 10 games, and you know, but you 10 games by the skin of your teeth. I mean, really, they probably should have only won 7 or 8. Yeah. But you know, so I think Lincoln, best thing that happened to OU is Lincoln leaving. You know, he can go and throw money at whoever he wants at USC and try to land him. I mean, it looks like he's about to lose his 5-star quarterback commit. So, you know.
Why is that?
Why is that? I don't know. He, you know, he's been a long time, or I say long time. He's been committed to Lincoln for a while. You know, he was committed to OU, and then once Lincoln went over to USC, flipped to USC, and then now he took a visit to Texas A&M this past weekend to see what they got going on down there in College Station. Yeah. A little bit more of that cheddar right there, but yeah. So, but yeah, and then continue on about OU. A few weekends ago, this is where all the excitement has stemmed from over the past couple weeks. People are calling the biggest recruiting weekend in OU history. People inside the program or that know people. You know, they're saying this is the biggest recruiting weekend that OU's ever had. Just the people that they had in attendance this past weekend and what they called the Party at the Palace recruiting event. You know, you had guys there, 4-star, high 4-star, Peyton Bowen, who's currently committed to Notre Dame, and teammate of, why can't I think of his name? Jackson Arnold, the 5-star quarterback commit, Denton Guyer, Texas. You know, teammate. So, you know, Jackson's been in his ear. He's like, hey, why don't you come on a visit to OU? People are suspecting that he's on flip watch. Expected to, that's what they call it, flip watch. So, flipping his commitment from Notre Dame to OU. You know, and then just a bunch of other guys that were there. David Hicks being one of those. You saw the coaches, they tweeted 5 locks. And if you follow OU on Twitter at all, you know a lock is a commit. Yeah. You know, like a silent commit, if you will. So there was 5 of them. People are suspecting one of them is David Hicks, who's a 5-star, number 1 ranked Texas, number 1 ranked player in Texas, number 1 ranked defensive lineman. You know, then that would be a huge get for OU. But I don't think he's a lock yet. Just from what I've been reading and everything, I think because he's not committing until later this year. In the early signing period, I mean, close to around the early signing period during the All-American Bowl. He's already committed to the I don't know which All-American Bowl. You have the Under Armour and then you have the Army. Those are the 2 big ones. But he's already announced that he'll be making his commitment that day. So, I mean, you still got months that you have that. I mean, really every school's on them. Yeah. You know, so that's a few more months that schools have to get their pitch out to them to get them to commit to their school. So I don't think he's one of the locks, but I don't have it broken down who I think it is. But, you know, people are calling it the biggest recruiting weekend in OU history, and they're saying that once all these 5 guys commit, I think we should be getting those 5 commits by the end of this month, that OU will have a top 3 recruiting class. So everybody's saying Brent Venables, his guys can't recruit with that, you know, commit rule, whatever.
Yes, sir.
He's proving you wrong. And so there's that. And then going on to the NFL, you know, I know before we went on our hiatus, long hiatus. We took a long break off.
Take a break. It's nothing wrong with taking a break.
Nothing wrong with taking a break. Baker Mayfield, it was kind of unsure what his future was going to be. Obviously, he's traded to Carolina. He's battling for the starting spot there. And from people that are at Panthers training camp and everything like that, Baker right now seems to have the strong upper hand in that QB battle right there. Between him, Sam Darnold, and their rookie that they just drafted, Matt Corral. So you got Baker. I mean, I've been seeing highlights on Twitter of him just throwing dimes to DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and Terrence Marshall and all their receivers. So hopefully Baker gets that starting job, because I've always loved the Panthers jerseys. I've always loved the Panthers colors with that black and blue.
How do you feel about Watson's punishment? Just 6 games.
I think it's BS. I mean, you're talking about, you got DeAndre Hopkins, who he's suspended for 6 games for PEDs that he wasn't even aware of. He said that he had ate something.
Come on, E.
I don't think D-Hop don't need PEDs. He don't need drugs to be better, and he's D-Hop. He was the best receiver in the NFL for a while. So, I don't know. He gets 6 games for PEDs, and then you got Calvin Ridley, who gets suspended for a whole year because he's betting on his team when he's not playing. He's away from the team. He's betting on his team on DraftKings, which is a sponsor of the NFL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
right.
And he's suspended for a whole year. And then you got Deshaun Watson. He has 27 sexual assault allegations against him in six games.
Do what you got to do, player. That's all I got to say. I mean, he probably should have got 10 games.
I mean, it just came out a little bit before we started recording the show. The NFL is appealing. They're trying to see if the NFL is trying to get him a longer suspension and a fine, a large fine. So, they're talking about they're going to go back, have more hearings, and they're going to try to get him suspended for the year and with a large fine. So we'll see what happens.
Well, like I said, 10 games to me is good enough. You do your time.
I don't think he should ever touch a football field ever again.
But we don't know if he did that. That's their word against his. I mean, that's a he say, she say. I mean, those women knew what was going on. I mean, you had 24 women say he did these things. Obviously, they liked it. I mean, they all got paid. I mean, and I'm not trying to be. I got 3 daughters and a granddaughter, so I understand. But sometimes these athletes get a target of something from a woman. Granted, he might have a little. He probably need a little bit of counseling.
It's 24 women. That's saying that they have been.
But what I'm saying on this, there's 24 women, so they all somebody had to know what was going on. I mean, it had to come out. Somebody had to say, "Hey, this guy is sick on the head." But he probably didn't want to get with none of them. He probably had some massage therapy, and he wanted to do the little happy ending. Some of them probably didn't want to do it. Some of them probably did do it. And they probably got out that they was doing it. So guess what? Now they want to sue him. But like I said, if you do the crime, you pay the time. But I'm not saying he should be banned from football. Because we all do dumb things, and we all should get second chance. But it's now this is the first time I ever heard a guy doing something dumb. It all come in one account, but I think you should let him play. I mean, I do. I'm not gonna say hold it against him, because you've had some other people do some more worse things than that. So I mean, that's why I stand on that.
All right.
But anything else?
Last thing I want to get to is Kyler Murray signing a $230 million extension.
I don't even want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it?
Because just months ago, we was ready to get rid of this guy. We was ready to get rid of this guy. We was ready to trade this guy. He wasn't going to come to training camp. But now he gets a big contract.
I've never heard of any Kyler Murray trade rumor.
He was talking about he wasn't. Remember they said he don't study the game. He don't do this and he don't do that. He might not be the face of the team. But I'm saying he got a fat contract. Come on, man. Well, we gonna get a fat contract for keeping it 100.
I don't know, Tony. You tell me. You the CEO of this thing.
Man, y'all better somebody come with it. Somebody better. But I'm just saying, think about it though, man. They said he didn't study the book. They said in his last game, he played bad as the baddest you could play. And I'm a Kyler Murray fan. He did big things at OU. He went off and did big things when he was over at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying the kid is a good ball player. The kid's a hell of an athlete. Played baseball. But I'm saying his last game as an NFL quarterback, my dog Baxter could have done better than him. And that's keeping it 100. But he goes off and gets the second biggest contract in the NFL. And they was ready to get rid of the guy 6 months ago. I'm not saying he's not talented, but we're throwing the money out because, he might leave. Well, leave. If you don't want to be here, leave. I get tired of people saying, I don't want to do this. Leave. No one is forcing you to do it. Yeah. Leave.
All right.
You don't want to be at the school, leave. And that's what we do, folks. We keep it what?
100.
all the time, man.
the
Like he
time.
said, it ain't just keeping 100 Oklahoma High School sports. It's keeping it 100 sports. Because you know why? We had a young lady on earlier the show. We dropped the show with a young lady coming all the way from Wichita, and she was scrimmaging and doing her thing, and she's going to be here this weekend. Her and Zoe and the team is going to link up and try to win them a national championship. Kansas United did it last year. It's going to be a tough road to get back because, you know, when once you're the champion, everybody's fighting for you. But I tell you, this team got enough to get there. They do. They got enough to get there. RT had to dip out on this, man. His son's a senior. They're having, had senior pictures earlier today for football. They're having a coaches meeting where Coach Dunn speaks. Everyone listens, so he had to run to go listen to Coach Dunn. I just tell you, we'll have Coach Jones on pretty soon, doing his coaches show again this year. I think it's gonna be really fun to watch this team and see what they do because he really got some good kids. I get to see Jay Foreman on Tuesday nights at Zoe's games. He does the clock. Great kid, man. Great. I mean, tell you, comes from a great family. And just the Thompson kids, man. Like I said, though, I do realize, though, folks, when we take the time and put you in the video and put your name out there and tweet you, man, take 2 seconds and retweet back. You ain't got to like us. But, hey, man, just do that. Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. It's free. It's free to subscribe. Free to like the video. It's free to like our tweets. Free to retweet. It don't cost you a dime.
Not a dime.
Just help us out a little bit.
It's free.
Yeah.
But, folks, it's another great episode of Keeping It What?
100
Oklahoma High School. I guess you can't say high school.
Keep it 100 sports.
And we'll get that down. I'm telling you, I get better at that because I'm
we're on what? What is our third season?
Third season, folks.
And 2 seasons of saying keeping it 100 Oklahoma High School sports. It's going to take us a little bit of time to.
But I will say though, it's good to be back in studio with my two main man. Like I said, I did like the Zoom call. He's feeling a little bit better.
Feeling a lot better.
It's
COVID ain't no joke.
Yeah, it ain't no joke. So make sure you taking your vitamin C's and drinking your orange juice. So we'll see you next time on Keeping It
100 Sports. See ya.